now return to Mind Your Own Business on DZRJ 810 AM, the voice of the Philippines. Here are your hosts, Nicole Jacinto and Nikki De Vega.
Okay, we're back, folks. This is Nicole Jacinto, and I'm with Carlo Nicolas.
Hi, Nicole.
Hello, Carlo. Okay, well, we just heard that a flash report from Loli Rivera Acosta. Thank you very much, Loli. And we heard the voice of Archbishop Cruz of Lingayen. Okay, well, Carlo, we're talking about partnerships.
Yes, and we mentioned the concept of delictus personarum.
Yes,
right?
yes.
You like the person.
You have to like the person. Okay, let me just try to summarize what you said earlier, what I learned from you. In a partnership, you have to like the person. So in other words, you cannot just take in another partner without all partners approving.
That's right.
Whether there are two or three of them. I asked you what happens if one dies. You said if one partner dies, you said then immediately another. You can continue on, but it will be considered a new partnership or a new entity.
Unlike in a corporation, if a stockholder dies, then the shares go to the heirs.
That's right.
But the corporation still exists.
But and as you were saying, the corporation can only exist for a period of 50 years. You can renew it, but a partnership is for life. Now, a partnership is different from a corporation.
In terms of name,
the time limit, the name.
Partnership, you have the words LTD. To signify limited. Yes, that's very famous, right?
Yeah.
Like Walt Disney Limited. You see that in a lot of cartoons.
That's right.
Or in the Philippines, Ortigas and Company, CO. So LTD, CO, and with the period, these are evidences of the organization of a partnership. In a corporation,
it's INC.
That's right. Incorporated,
and sometimes
INC,
they say corp.
Corp, or even corporation, the full word.
So if it's just CO, the company, that's a partnership?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay, now,
further, if it's a limited partnership, something I can go through later on.
Yes.
There must be the words limited, and of course, CO limited is acceptable.
Okay. You want to talk about the limited partnership now? Or later?
We can talk about it now. All right.
Okay.
In a limited, you see, a partnership is also a good vehicle for investors. Unlike a corporation, the limit of liability of a stockholder is its subscription. So, for example, in a corporation, it's 25% subscribed and 25% paid up, right?
Yeah.
If the corporation is sued and has no more assets, then a stockholder can be sued only to the extent of its subscribed capital stock. So, 25% of what it contributed. And that's in the partnership books. It's listed. Now, in a partnership, a general partnership, the liability is unlimited.
So you can, in a general partnership.
Yes, in a general partnership, the liability is unlimited.
So it's like if you have a sole proprietorship, they can sue you for your personal assets.
That's right.
Okay.
But there is also such a thing as a limited partnership.
Okay.
Now, what does the law require in a limited partnership? Well, first, there must be at least one general partner. So if there is one general partner, the rest can be limited partners. Limited in terms of liability.
Okay, so that's the limited liability.
That is where that is called a limited partnership.
I've been seeing, I think I've seen this a lot in the US, the LLC, the limited liability
company. Yes.
That's it. A limited liability. Okay.
And we got the concept from the United States.
Okay.
So for example, if there are three of you, one must be a general partner or a universal partner with unlimited liability that is required by law.
Okay.
And the rest can either be universal partners or both limited liability partners. So if the contribution is 100,000 pesos each and the debt is 1,000,000 pesos, if there are two limited partners and one unlimited partner, then they can only be liable to the extent of 100,000.
The limited partners can only be liable to the extent of 100,000.
But the 800,000, the universal partner must be liable for that with his personal money. That's right.
That's right. But that is a good vehicle for investors because then they'll say, well, okay, we're only, we believe in your idea, but just to protect ourselves, we're limited to this much.
That's right.
And it also actually protects let's say the universal partner who is very sure of his or her idea and they know what they're doing and they have every intention of making this succeed. Then they know that they're exposed, right? But they will make it work. And you know that if you're the limited partner, you know that the money that you put in will really the person will really
will work for it.
Yeah, will
so
work for it.
The concept of quid pro quo, something for something, is
Yes.
very evident in a partnership. Because of course, if you have limited liability, then you earn also a limit on a limited basis.
That's true. Yeah.
That's the general rule. But the good thing about a partnership is you can agree. Unlike in a corporation where dividends are issued for earnings, there is a specific governing body, the board of directors. Then there's a set of stockholders who contribute capital, and there's a fixed structure and set of rules imposed by the SEC and the articles of incorporation and bylaws of the company. In a partnership, you can agree as to how you want to divide.
Okay, so you can agree this person gets this much.
For example, I agree to contribute 1 million pesos, but in terms of profit sharing, I'm only entitled to 5%.
Ah, okay.
And I could be the largest capitalist partner.
But still,
Yes, if that is our agreement, then I should stick to that.
So there's definitely more flexibility in terms of writing the laws of the corporation and divvying things up, how to divide things, and the
That's
share
right.
of work as well as the share of the profit.
Perfect flexibility. That is why the concept of delectus personarum is important, because if you will be working with someone who you think will not be amenable to this, or who you think will not respect the rules that you set up, then that person is not worth it to become your partner.
That's right. So you have to be able to trust the person.
Yes,
Now,
that is the essence of partnership.
just
Trust.
quick, the essence of partnership is trust. Now, just quick question: what if you end up making a mistake and one partner wants to kick the other one out or dissolve the partnership? How do you go about it?
That's also a good difference between a partnership and a corporation. You see, if this happens in a corporation, you cannot do that. You have to apply with the SEC for dissolution. So it means you cannot dissolve a corporation. You must ask permission from the state, from the government. And it is only upon the dissolution of the corporation by the SEC that the company is deemed to have died.
Okay.
In a partnership, it goes as simple as a snap of your finger. Because in the same way as the partners are also co-owners of the property, a partner cannot be compelled to remain a partner in the partnership.
So you can say, I want out. I don't trust you anymore.
That's right.
You now have bad breath and BO. I don't like you. I can't work with you.
It could be as simple
you
as
didn't
that.
have that before, but now you do. And I don't like your long toenails.
Yes.
And the hair coming out of your nose, so I'm out of this partnership.
You could be as
Yeah.
petty as that, yes.
Yeah.
And that is a perfectly valid and legal ground to terminate a partnership just because you do not want to become a partner anymore.
Because of the delectus.
Personarum, yes.
Delecta, sorry. I like that. I
Now-
like that. Okay.
Now, of course, it's not as arbitrary as I appear to be saying, because there are rules also in the civil code which indicate what to be done, what's to be done, and the
Because
rules
it also stops bullying and you know,
and the rules are based on common sense. If you agree, for example, that you divide 50-50 if there are two partners, then if you dissolve the partnership, you divide 50-50.
That's right. You don't say, I don't like you. You're taking 10% and I'm taking 90. No, you have to divide it equally.
That's
I mean,
right.
You still have to follow rules that protect both
Also,
or all partners.
that's right. And also, if I want to sue a partner, for example, I can file that directly with the court. In a corporation,
Ah.
it's a much more complicated thing. It's an intracorporate suit. So
Yeah, that's
the
right.
corporation must sue that director, that stockholder, even if only one person did not like the suit must be under the name of the corporation. So it's much more complicated in that score. So if you want to go down to the level of being personally acquainted with your partners, with your business partners, then the partnership is a very good vehicle to use.
So now, you know what? I really appreciate the idea of the partnership as a structure.
For doing business, yes.
Much more. Because it's been clarified, and I'm glad you really focused on just partnerships today. Now, okay, some questions. How do you put up a partnership? How do you begin?
Well, that's a very good point. A partnership is formed in the same way like a corporation. You see, because the law gives the partnership a separate personality from its partners. What does that mean? If I want to apply for a phone line, the phone line can be under the name of the partnership.
This is what you call a separate juridical entity.
Yes, that's
okay.
right.
All right. Okay.
While the liability goes through the partners, specifically the universal partner, in terms of juridical personality, they're separate from the partners itself.
Yeah.
This is the same with the corporation.
Which is not true for the sole proprietorship.
Not true for the sole
Okay.
proprietorship.
All right.
That's right.
Okay.
And we will focus on that also in detail soon.
Yes. Okay.
All right. Now, since it is the law that gives a partnership juridical personality, then in general you form a partnership by contract, like I said, right? But of course, if there's a provision in civil code, if it's more than 3,000, the money or the property being contributed in the partnership, you have to register it with the SEC.
If it's more than 3,000 pesos.
And of course, no business venture right now is less than 3,000 pesos,
That's
right?
true. Yeah, so you have to register it.
So, as a general rule,
is that an outdated law or something? Or an outdated, maybe not a law, but some type of
it's
requirement?
It's a civil code. And yes,
okay.
You're right. It's probably outdated because it's circa 1957. And 3,000 pesos back then is a lot of money.
Yeah.
Okay,
but, so anyway, go back to... I'm sorry, I interrupted with you.
So, the general rule, which probably applies to all, is you register a partnership.
Okay.
To give it juridical personality so that you can apply for a phone line. In any case, if you have a partner... Because I said that you can form a partnership by contract, right?
Yes.
And you want to go to SMART and to apply for a line, right? Here's my partnership contract. SMART will probably not accept that. They will require something from the SEC. Because they will need the separate juridical personality granted to a partnership by law.
So the steps to take are you go to the SEC and
there is
you have to... Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
What requirements do you have to submit?
Well, you have to think of a name first.
Let's say Carlo and Nicky.
Company.
Yeah.
Limited. And I would be the limited partner.
Okay.
I would agree to that.
Okay, alright. Carlo and Nicky Limited.
So, like a corporation, you have to apply for the reservation of the name.
Okay.
So, there's a limit to that. Say, for example, I can only have the name on hold for 3 months. And you have to pay a certain fee. So, that's one. Second, there's an articles of partnership that you can freely download online if you want.
Okay.
Because there's a form required by the SEC and that must be complied with. So it's best to go to the SEC website and download
You can download the articles of partnership and then you have to comply with that.
Yes.
What do you mean by download it? You copy it exactly or you fill out certain data? Fill up the form. Okay.
Or you could go to the green form. I believe the SEC has a green form for a partnership. It's something that you buy. I think it's 500 pesos. You fill that up and you file it. I believe if it's a green form, you get the certificate of registration on the same day or the day after that. It's that quick, yes.
Okay. And then what else do you need? What are the other requirements?
Well, it's part of the green form. There's a registration data sheet, which basically contains the name of the partners, capitalization, contribution, address, birthday, and other personal details. And this is important. A certificate of bank deposit. Why is that necessary? Because under the law, a partnership is defined as a contract of partnership is a contract of 2 or more persons who bind themselves to contribute money, property, or industry to a common fund with the intention of dividing the profits among themselves. So, 2 or more persons, that's done, right? Partners who contribute money or property. So, the SEC must be made aware of how much money or property that you're contributing. Then finally, there must be an intention of dividing the profits for a specific business purpose.
Okay.
And this will be contained in the articles of partnership which will be submitted with the SEC.
Okay.
Now, if you have a foreign partner, there are additional requirements. This is the SEC Form F-105.
What exactly is that? I mean, what would you have to fill out?
Well, normally, partners from foreign countries would have to wire the money in the Philippines, right? And we have to comply with anti-money laundering laws, right?
Okay.
So you have to notify the Bangko Sentral that money is being wired. The SEC must be notified that proper documentation has been acquired, and you do this by submitting the SEC form.
Okay, so when you